Good day, this is Teacher Rowan. I'll be your guide in exploring Google Apps for education, for teaching and learning. In Google for Education, teachers can connect and collaborate easily while staying on task. It gives teachers the freedom to spend more time personalizing the learning experience and less time managing it. Students can learn essential skills such as 21st century problem solving, which they can use it in their future careers. As such, the accessibility features will also help and assist every learner to do their best work. Google offers different useful applications that we can use to connect education to technology. This will help our teachers as a 21st century educators to innovate and find ways on how to make teaching and learning more exciting, engaging, effective, and flexible to the demands of the society. Let's re-explore the education experience by discovering new angles to create, collaborate, and communicate as one. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, at para sa guro. Ang pagkatuto, huwag gawing komplikado. Sulong edukalidad. Hello. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Magandang gabi sa aming mga teachers na naka-tune in, na nanonood, na handang matuto sa gabing ito. So, I hope na i-share po ninyo ang aming live telecast today para po mabigyan ng kaalaman ng ating mga teachers today kasi napakaganda po ng ating topic sa gabing ito. At meron tayong napaka-espesyal na bisita na magbabahagi sa ating topic for this evening. Ayan. So, hindi ko na patatagalin. Tatawagin ko ang aking pinaka-supportive na partner. Let me call on Miss Mary Manzano.
Hello! Hi everyone! Good evening po sa inyong lahat and thank you so much for joining us tonight. Nandiyan kayo palagi at gaya nga ng invitation namin ni Ms. Weng last week, di ba? Gawin natin tong weekly habit na every Wednesday night ay mag-tune in lang po kayo kung isa kayong Googly Filipino teacher. So welcome to the Googly Filipino teacher for our Season 1, Episode 2. And we have a special guest tonight, di ba, Ms. Weng?
Yes, meron tayong special guest this evening na magbabahagi ng napakagandang topic na napapanahon at also magagamit natin as teacher na ganun din sa ating mga students. Kasi alam ko kailangan na kailangan to ngayon habang hindi pa nagpe-face-to-face. Ayan.
So I'm so excited to know more about this topic actually kasi alam mo naman napakalaking pagbabago talaga. Itong topic na i-discuss niya ngayon, meron ng old version to pero mukhang ang gagawin niya yata i-discuss niya yung bagong version. So kung ginagamit niyo yung old version dati, feeling ko marami talaga kayong matututunan dito sa ating speaker today. So, let me just go ahead and introduce, no, Ms. Weng? Okay na? Ayan, our speaker for tonight. Ayan, ang speaker natin tonight is none other than Ms. Tonya Alwage. She's a social science teacher for junior high school in De La Salle University Integrated School. She's a graduate of the University of Philippines, Los Baños with a bachelor's degree in economics, major in natural resource economics, and of the University of the Philippines Open University with a diploma in environment and natural resources management. She's currently teaching basic principles of economics to grade 9 students. She's also a Google certified educator, a Google certified trainer, Google Applied Digital Skills ambassador. She's an inspirational educator, an IRAD ambassador, and screencasting coach. Super duper, no? At alam nyo naman, ako, IRAD ambassador pala to si Ma'am Tony. So, let's all welcome Miss Tony Halwage. Palakpakan naman natin.
Ayan. So,
hello po. Good evening po. Hello po sa lahat
pa pala
ng
si Miss
nanonood.
Tony, Miss Mary.
Ano?
Bata pa pala siya.
Batang-bata pa,
Oo,
oo.
datang bata pa.
Nararamdaman ko yung edad natin, Miss Wen, huwag kang ganyan. Alam mo yun? So,
Pero alam mo,
ayan.
bago natin siya iwan
Kumbaga.
mag-isa, pwede naman natin siyang for a while interviewin habang iniintay natin yung mga online participants natin na dumating. Ayan. So,
Oo.
Miss Tony, ilang taon ka na po bang nagtuturo? So, you're teaching in Lasal,
Um,
diba?
yes po, I'm teaching for 3 years na po sa Lasal, pero 4 years po overall kasi before that, sa college po ako nagtuturo. So, from Southern Luzon State University. So, yun po.
Nako, Ma'am Tony, meron kang bonggang-bonggang fan sa ating mga guests tonight. By the way, we have viewers from all over the Philippines. And mukhang si Mr. Christopher Alex Berson, good evening sa iyo. At may talagang nag-cheer. Gusto ko yung mga ganyan eh. Alam mo yon, yung meron kang cheerleader. Importante yan. So, ang may tanong lang ako, no? Nakita ko na inspirational educator ka. So that means you took your pair deck. Tama, pair deck to, di ba? Pag
Yes po,
inspirational
deck
educator
user.
ka,
Yes po.
pair deck user, you're able to integrate with your Google Slides. And Ayurad, alam mo, hindi ko akalaing may Ayurad ambassador pala dito sa Pilipinas. For those people who don't know, guys, Ayurad is actually a tool. It's an extension that you can put in your browser where you can do what do you call that, a screencast. Pero ang gagawin niya, hindi niya lang basta i-record yung screencast nyo. Ang gagawin niya, i-breakdown niya lahat ng steps na yon, and then gagawin niyang interactive yung inyong screencasted material so that you can share that with your students and your students can follow exactly what you did. So napaka cutting edge ng IRAD. The very first time I saw it, I was really amazed. And I'm so happy you're actually an IRAD ambassador. That's
Yes
cool.
po, totoo po. Very helpful po yung IORAD, lalo na for the students and also for the teachers na kapag may tool po kami gagamitin, mas madali ko pong na-explain sa kanila using that. So, ayun po.
Good job. Ang
So
galing.
maganda yan, Miss Mary, kasi yung i-discuss na today, baka possible na magamit ito or may mga teacher, especially pwede MAPE teacher, di ba? Sino yung mga minsan nahihirapan kasi skills-based sila, di ba? So I think through this, sa i-discuss ni Miss Tony and also kung ma-i-discuss na din yung IRAD, siguro a little way, so makakatulong po sa mga teacher na medyo nahihirapan din sa pag-create ng video. So,
So speaking of
napaka-exciting
that,
ng
no,
oo,
tama ang
correct,
topic
Miss
natin
Mary.
ngayon, Google Sites, virtual it up. Yun ang ating topic for tonight. And that's the reason why excited kami ni Miss Wen kasi we've been trying to collate so much information. Lalo na yung meron tayong mga nanonood, sigurado ako may mga OER diyan, mga OER creators diyan. Shout out po sa inyo lahat kasi the way that we're actually gathering information now is so important because hindi na siya gaya ng dati, ano? And so having a site like Google Sites and having Tony explain to us how to actually virtual it up and make it interesting, alam mo yon, for our students and interesting for our teachers, that's really what we are looking forward to do. Tama ba, Miss Wing? Yan ang,
Yes. Parang ang
ayan.
daming fans ni Miss Tony.
Oo nga,
Best friend
nakikita
ko
ko nga.
yan.
Naku, wala pa nagtatanong ng single ka pa ba eh. Pero tingnan natin mamaya-mayang konti. Ayan. Sabi ni Ma'am Amelia ulit, I'm happy for this podcast, Miss Tony. Ayan. We're also very happy for you, Ma'am. Ayan, si Ma'am Kat. Sabi ni Miss Kat Monar, thank you to the Filipino teachers molding young minds. Yan po talaga tayo. Yan ang ating subject for every week, ang ating googly Filipino teacher. Pinag-usapan namin ni Miss Weng last week, what makes you googly. So bago ka namin pakawalan to do your presentation, what do you think makes you googly, Tony?
Being able to transform minds at the same time, inspire other teachers din po at the same time. So, yun po.
Googling talaga.
Yes.
Concept of
Ayan.
googling yan.
Oo.
So, ayan. Shoutout ko lang yung mga na-certify natin sa SDO Surigao del Sur. Ayan, nanonood sila ngayon. And also, yung ating mga nag-MOOC sa ating PDLMS. Magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. And also, yung mga sa San Fernando, La Union. Ayan. And also, kay Teacher Mika sa Quezon Province. Ayan.
Ayan, we've got a lot of viewers right now at counting, ano. Ang nakakatuwa kasi dito sa ating Googly Filipino Teacher, talagang pinatutunayan talaga ng mga taga-DepEd na maraming Googly sa kanila. Kaya we are very lucky to have you, Tony, and we are really, really excited to hear more. Ayan, so without further ado, we will leave you to it and we'll be staying at the backstage watching like the rest of our audience here. And sige, enjoy everyone.
Thank
Enjoy,
you po
Miss
ulit. Ayan.
Tony!
Thank you po. Ayan, hello po sa lahat. Good evening everyone for who those are watching from Facebook and YouTube. Hello, hello po sa inyong lahat. So, welcome to the Googly Filipino Teacher Webinar Series. And again, I'm Miss Tony Halwage. And for today's session, we'll virtual everything up using Google Sites. So let me just share my screen for Ayan. So, thank you. So, for today, we'll be using Google Sites. And before I begin, for those na gusto pong maging interactive yung discussion natin and all, I'm actually using Pear Deck right now and you can join me. So, you can participate in my discussion. Just go to joinpd.com and just type in the code. So, the code is RVDLEL. So yan, join lang po kayo para po mas makapag-participate po kayo. So I have questions prepared for you guys. And so that I can know then what type of audience I'm talking to, how is your knowledge po regarding the Google Sites and all. So ayan, hello po, good evening po sa lahat. Yan, join po tayo sa ating pair deck. So for those who can and who want to join, just go to joinpd.com and then use the code RVDLEL. Ayan. Thank you, Sir Chris, for sharing the code and the link for our pair deck. So ayan, we have students joining in and happy to see all of you. And good evening po. Ayan, good evening everyone. From Tarlac, from Antipolo, Rizal. So ayan, so join and connect tayo sa Pair Deck so that you can participate po with our session for today. So para hindi lang po tayo sa chats, although nakikita ko naman po yung chats nyo. So ayan. Okay, so I'm going to share na po our first question for today. You can still join po. The code is joinpd.com. The code is RVDLEL, so you can see it in our upper right corner po ng screen po natin. So for the first question for you guys, global pandemic. So we are still in a pandemic. And what are the challenges you are experiencing right now in an online distance learning setup? So ano po yung mga challenges natin? Saan po tayo nahihirapan? Ayan. So we have a few answers now. Let's share the answers po. Yan. So student connection, yes, I think that's a number one problem that we have right now. Connectivity, how to engage students better and keep them from getting bored or too tired. Ayan. Choosing the right and appropriate assessment tools, internet connection. A lot ay internet connection talaga. Ayan. For the internet connection, we have low internet connectivity. So what else? So engaging in students regarding the topics, lack of gadget. So students copy answers. So what else? Gadgets. Ayan, usually we have here in the Philippines, our number one problem that we have is internet connection talaga. And of course, some of the students have no access really with the gadgets that we have. So there's a few, or those are the few of the things that we are experiencing regarding online distance learning. So for this one, in our global pandemic. So because of the global pandemic, we had to shift from face to face to online distance learning, and because of this, we experienced a lot of difficulty in doing the usual things that we do, or even engaging with the students. So malayo na sila, ang feeling natin malayo na sila because they're behind the camera and you're behind the camera. So medyo mahirap talaga yung engagement and communication. And of course, some of the usual performance tasks or projects that we do, we can no longer do that the same because it's hard to manage online. And of course, another challenge is creativity. So because of the limited tools that we have and the setup that we have, medyo we are having a hard time to have a creativity or really hone the creativity skills of the students. But with the right online tools and the available online tools that we have right now, especially the Google tools that we have, we will be able to tackle not only the two C's that I have mentioned, which is communication and creativity, but all of the four C's in learning. So for today's session, we'll focus on using Google Sites in order to tackle these issues. So our goal actually for today is to usually we have in our face-to-face setup, we have projects that we exhibit to the other students. It is to encourage them to do their best, at the same time to inspire other students with their works na nagawa nila or yung output nila. And but because of the online setup, we were not able to do this. So instead of a physical exhibit, why not virtual it up? Why not transfer our usual exhibits online also? So we can actually share the outputs using Google Docs, Google Sheets, through the use of hyperlinks. So nagagawa na po natin to with the use of Google Classroom. So after they submit the assignments, we can compile them using the Google Drive folder and just share the folder. But to make it more appealing, especially to the students, and of course to reach also the parents when it comes to their outputs, we can use another tool. So our goal for today's session is to create a website to showcase all of the outputs created by our students. So when we say website, medyo parang nakakakaba na hala, website, hindi ba masyadong kailangan ng skills dyan, technical skills and all. So we'll learn later on kung paano ba nag-work yung ating Google Sites. So for our objectives for today, we have 4. So first is to create a website using Google Sites, of course. So and then we'll liven things up and use and add a theme to our website. And then we can now add some tools. So we have available tools in the sites or in the Google Sites mismo, and use it. And then to really give or maximize the website that we created, and then share and publish the website to our preferred audience. So it can be for our parents, it can be for the school, it can be for our students. So those are the things that will tackle for today's session. So another question for you guys, who among you are familiar with Google Sites? So have you ever heard of Google Sites before? Have you used it before in your classroom instruction or for your activities? Or if not, yeah, you just answer nope, never heard of it or never used it. Ayan. So I think some of you already answered na have heard of it. Some have already used it or heard but not used it yet. So some Hindi pa, yan, meron tayong ilan. So, marami po sa inyo ang familiar na with the Google Sites. So, actually, Google Sites changed from the classic sites to a modern type. So, once nag-upgrade si Google, so they develop features na wala dati sa classic sites. So, we'll tackle more on this. Ayan, haven't used it. So may ilan na nope na never had. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your responses. So what is Google Sites really? So actually, Google Sites is part of the Google Workspace. So one of the Google tools that is free to use, and it's a website builder. So you can it has a very simple interface where anyone can create a website in just a click or two. So no need for coding, no need for HTML or even JavaScript, whatever. So you can just click on things and arrange those. So it's a very simple interface to create a website. And just like Google Docs, Sheets, and other tools that we have in Google, students and also teachers can work together through its collaborative feature. So that's one good thing about Google tools, yung collaboration that they have in the Google tools. So anyone, so you can have group works, even you as a teacher can join them in creating this website. So for today, again, our goal is to create a website for exhibit, but there are other ways or other purposes for the Google Sites that we can do after we manage to tackle all the details on creating Google Sites. So first up, let's start creating a blank site. So to start creating a blank site, you'll go to sites.google.com. So that is our site, or that's our website for the Google Sites. And here is what you'll see in our Google site. So as you can see at the very top part of the layout, you can see that you can create a new site, a blank site there. And beside that are templates that you can choose from. So all of the Google tools that we already have templates so that you can start with something already in the website itself or even in docs and sheets that can help you and guide you for your tool. Now, on the bottom part, you can see the existing sites that you have created already. So you can go back on that created site. So for our session for today, we'll create a new site. So we'll just click on the blank site. And then once we click on that, we'll be directed to this page. So this is what we'll see. This is the new interface or layout for our Google site. So let's first identify the different parts of the Google site. So first is the site document name. So this is what you'll see in your Google Drive as the file name of your website or your Google site. Next is the yeah. Next is our site name. So the site name is what your audience or what your viewers will see as the site name or the website name of your website. So whatever you put there, that will be the site name assigned to your website. Next is the header. So each page that we create will have its own header. There are actually 4 types of header that you can use in the website. So if you click on the header type, you will see the 4 different headers that you can use in your website. So we have there the cover, which covers almost the whole page of the website, or the photo you use will be seen covering the whole website. And then we have the large banner, then the normal size banner, so it's a little bit smaller compared to the large banner, and the title only. So there's no photo in that web or in that page if you choose title only, just the name of the page. So those are the different headers that we have. Next part that we have for the Google Sites is the navigation bar. In the navigation bar, it will show you all the pages and available pages available in the website. So the default setup for the navigation bar is that you'll see that on the upper part or the top part of your website, but you can change this in the settings. So to change that and to actually access all the settings for your website, you'll just hover your cursor to the side of the site name and just click on it. So that will be your navigation setting, and this will pop out. And as you can see there, that's the navigation setting. So you can change the mode from top to the side part, so left side part of your website. So those are the only two places where your navigation bar can be seen. So that's for the navigation bar. And the last thing or last part that is really important in our website or in our Google Sites is the toolbar. So we have here the toolbar on the upper part where you can see the publish and the undo, the redo, and then we have there the link. And if you are going to collaborate with your co-teachers, or if you're going to make your students collaborate with their group mates, so they can add there. And then we have there also the version history and all of the different things and tools that we can add in your Google Sites. So that is, or those are the parts of the Google Sites. Now that we know the parts of the Google Sites, so a quick question for you guys. So using the icon that you can see on your screens, just drag it. Where do you think is our site name? Ayan, quickly drag our icon there. So where is our site name in this web page that we have? Ayan, we have a few responses na. So for those who just started watching, ayan, so I'm using Pear Deck for an interactive session with you guys, so you can join in a Pear Deck. Ayan, this is the site name, the one at the bottom. The other one is the site document name. So yon. And then where do you think is our toolbar? So this one is the easiest part. Where is our toolbar? So the toolbar is the very important part of the Google Sites because this is the one we'll be using and will actually be tackling for the next parts of this discussion. Okay, ayan. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. So nakaka-follow pa po ang lahat. Okay, so let's proceed. Now that we know the different parts of the Google Sites, we already created a blank slate for our site. We can now start to add a theme for that and liven things up and customize our website. So we'll make sure na this is appropriate for our audience. So if this is for the students, so we have their the themes for the students or for the parents or even for those na open for anyone in public. So for the themes of our Google Sites, so you can see in our toolbar the themes part. So it's in the upper right corner, yung themes. Once you click on it, it will show the different themes that you can select on. And again, as I have mentioned, we have pre-created or templates already in our Google Tools to help you start. So for this one, we have here the themes, the pre-created themes. So we have their simple, Aristotle, diplomat, vision. So those are pre-created themes you can choose from, especially if you're like me who's not good with color combinations and even the font styles to use. So you can choose from these themes to make your lives easier. But if you really wanted to customize and personalize your website, you can actually create your own custom theme. So this is one of the new features of Google Sites. So to create your custom theme, so for this one pala, quickly, so in the themes that or pre-created themes, you can change the color and select in the color palette. So you can add another color if your favorite color is not in the choices. And then you can also change the font style, but not the font. So only the font style available. So we have their different font styles like light, classic, or heavy font style. So those are the different font styles that you can have. Now for the custom theme, on the other hand, so you'll just click on the custom theme, the plus button that you can see on the upper part. And you can actually start creating your very own theme that you will use in your website. So for that, you can start with naming the theme. So this is a required part in creating a theme. So you name it, and any name will do. So even use your name if you really don't have the creativity for naming things like me. So yeah, you can use your name for that, and then you can already add a logo and then add a banner image immediately on the website. So automatically, every time you add a page, the header or the image that you can see on the page is the one that you posted already. Next, if you click next, you will see there the custom colors for your website. So again, there are preset colors that you can select from, but if you really want to personalize the website, you can also customize the colors for the website. So you can choose from the different colors. So three colors are the styles, the different styles that we can use for the website. So this is the color combination that will be used for your website. And after selecting the color, you will now start selecting the font that will be used for your title headings as well for your body text. So every page will be cohesive with the same color and the same font style based on the theme that you created. And then once you create a theme, it will show in the theme choices natin. Now you can still customize it for those who want to really personalize every detail. You can still customize everything using the colors, text, images, navigation, and even the other components in your website can change every little bit. So this is one of the great things in Google Sites that they have added and upgraded in the new Google Sites. Ayan. So for the colors, you can change the colors of the text, the background color, and even the body text. And there are other things that you can change the color. Next, for the text, so you can change the font size, the format, the alignment, even the line spacing and the paragraph spacing. You can also change that for your text or for the body text, and even the titles, the headings, and the subheadings. Next, for the images, if you haven't decided yet for the images, for the headers, even the logo or the favicon, you can add those later in the settings of the themes. And then we have the navigation bar. So again, the navigation bar, you can see that at the top part of the website. So at the navigation bar, you can also change the color of the background when scrolled, or even the highlighting that you will do, and the different components that we have. So we have the buttons, the divider, the links, and the image carousel. You can also change all of those for those who really want to personalize their website. But again, if you're like me who really want to do this fast and all, there's preset themes that you can select from. So once you created a theme, ayan. So next, once you create a theme, you're done actually in creating or livening things up in your website. Now we'll put contents, but before we continue in putting the contents and the different tools, a quick question for you guys. What will be the color scheme for your website? And we have so many colors. What do you think will be the color combination for your website? In my case, my favorite color is red, so most probably I'll choose red. How about you? And let's see your responses. So we have the simple. So the simple theme that is actually preset or pre-created in our Google sites. We have pink. We have earth tone. I like this one. Then we have pastel colors, blue, yellow or blue, green, purple, blue, green or yellow, ayan, pink, blue, simple, ayan. So we have lots of color combinations we can choose from. So you can start thinking of what will be the color of your website. Now, after defining the theme of the website, we can now start creating the different tools that we have or that we can use to maximize the website. So, what is the purpose of our website in this case? It will be used for exhibiting the different outputs of your students. So, to add the different tools, we actually have lots of tools that we can add in our Google Sites. So first, before we add the different tools, of course, we should add pages. So for our pages, to add pages, just click on the pages. And then at the very bottom, you can see there the different choices or different pages that we can add. So there you can see menu, and then link, and then new page. For those who are using Google Workspace for education, some of the type of Google Workspace have limited features. So in others, there is no new menu. But in others, since I'm using a demo workspace, so I have the access for all of the features. So the menu is the header type of header that we can add for subpages. So if we have a lot of subpages, this can be your header for those subpages. And then the link, you can direct from your website to another website. So you can direct your audience. And then for the page, of course, you can have another site page. So if we do that, here's an example of each pages that we can create. So as you can see here, for the menu, this is the artworks. And then under the artworks, we have sub pages. We have the painting, sculpture, music, and literature. If you can see our navigation bar, the artworks have a down button there. So you can see the sub pages once you hover your cursor dun sa down pages. And then the other pages available is the statistics and feedback. So those are the different pages that we can create. After we create the pages, we can now add the different tools. So these are the different tools that is available for your website. So technically, you can add everything to your Google site. So even a Google map, a website, another website, another tool that is not a Google tool, you can add all of those in your website. So we'll take a look at all of these tools one by one. So hopefully you can still follow me since this is a lot of tools to add. So let's start with the text box. So of course, to give content to your website, you can start off by adding text box. Once you click the text box, it will show a text box in your site. So that is for your text box. And as you can see there, there is a setting for each content that you put there. All of the settings for each content, you will see them at the top part of the content. So left top part of the content. So for this one, since this is a text box, so the settings will be for the font size, the format, the alignment, even the spacing are there. Next, once you're done putting inputs in your text box, you can actually add background colors in your site. So you can click or hover your mouse on the side again, and you will see there another setting for the background. So we have there the different styles. So the styles that you see there, style 1, 2, and 3, those are based from the theme that you selected. So if you have personalized the colors for each style, so this is what you'll see for style 1, 2, and 3. And you can use images also in in your Google site as your background. So that is for your Google site. Next, for this one, once you're done with creating the background, you can now add images. So again, just click on the images and you will be asked if you're going to upload from your computer, from your file, or if it is from the Google Drive or from a search engine. So you can actually search for an image directly from Google Sites. So this is what is great about Google Tools. It's already integrated with each other, so it's easier to work and you don't have to change tabs just by working in a website. So once you click on upload and select a photo, automatically it will show in your website also. So as you can see here, we have the photo here. And you can now drag the icons or you can now drag the contents around your website to place them on wherever you wanted to. So if you drag them, click them and hold the content, you will see that there will be grid lines that will be shown into your website. Those grid lines are your guidelines. So those are the widths that the site can accept for the contents that you have. And it's easy to drag the item since it snaps in place. So you don't have to really change the size bit by bit because it will snap in place once you decided how long will be the picture be, or for the text box, what will be the width for the text box. So those are the features of the Google site. So again, it's simple to work around with your website. Now, what are the other things? We have embed. So if you have a tool outside of Google, you have a website that you want to embed also in your website, you can also do this. So just by clicking on embed, and you will be asked if you are going to embed it using by URL or by embed code. So for those who know coding and how to use iframe or iSource, so you can use embed code. But for those who are not familiar with those things, you can just use the URL or the web address. So in this example, I use the evolution of trust. So I use this with my students every time I teach economics and opportunity cost. So this is the evolution of trust. And this is a working website. So this moves and you can play around in your own website also. So you don't, or your students don't have to go to the website that you wanted to go to. They can just work around in the website that you created. Next, we have Google Drive also. So for those who are compiling everything in their Google Drive folder, you can actually share your own folder also in your Google Sites. So once you click on the Google Drive and share the folder, it will show this. So it is in list view. If you want it as a grid type, you can also change the settings and make it grid type. So as you can see here on the background, you will see the different photos uploaded in the folder of your Google Drive folder. And you can also upload PDF, videos, sound, even sound, voice recordings. You can also upload those from your Google Drive to the website. Then we have here the layouts. So the layouts are for those who are, again, not creative, just like myself. I'm really not creative into thinking how to place things. So we can use layouts that are pre-created from Google Sites. So just one click, if you click on one of the layouts, it will show a placeholder and the text for that. So the placeholder, you can upload anything from that placeholder. And then, of course, you can put your content na in that text. And now, we can use the other tools on the bottom part. So we'll start with the collapsible group. So for the collapsible group, this is an example of the collapsible group. So let's say if you have a long description for a painting of a student, so you can choose to hide those description and just see if that description, if the audience want to read the description, they can do so just by clicking the collapsible group. So you can hide those in the meantime, and they can open it if they want to read it. So that's for the collapsible. Next is for the table of contents. Again, if you have a long list of students and you want to put every output in one page only, you can use the table of contents so that they can browse the page easier. So as you can see here, there is an instruction where all of the headings will be added, automatically added in the table of contents. So once you create the headings for this page, you will be directed, or you will be able to create your table of contents. So as you can see here, we have sculptures by grade 9, and if you click the sculpture by student 4, you will be directed for that page. And then what else? We also have image carousel. So for the image carousel, if you want to show different photos at one side only or one place only, you can use this. It's like a slideshow. So you can automatically set it to play and slideshow all of the photos, or you can just leave it and let the audience slide or click on the buttons just to browse the photos there. So once you've done uploading the photos and selecting the photos, this is what it looks like in your website. It's an image carousel. So as you can see at the bottom, it will show how many pictures are there in one image carousel. So it's easier to view if you have a lot of students in one section. So you can upload every photo that the students created. Next is you can add a button also. So if you want to have a shortcut for a link, a shortcut for the home page, you may do so. Just click on the button and you will be asked for the name of the button and the link for that page. So it can be for the home page, or again, if you have another website that you want them to direct to, you can just add the link there and be directed to that website. And then what else do we have? So this is our button. This is what it looks like. So again, you can change the look of this using the themes section, and you can edit the color, the font for the button. Next is the divider. So if you want to cut different contents or even put footnotes at the bottom part of the page, you can put dividers just to say that this is a footnote, this is a note for you guys. So that is for the dividers. And also, again, as I have mentioned earlier in the layouts, we have placeholders. So if you are still undecided on what to put in that page, you can just put placeholders there just to see what it will look like or how big will it cover in your web page. So the placeholders are for anything. You can upload images, videos, even the map, even your calendar. So those are the things that you can upload using the placeholders. So if you are going to create a website already and you will let your students upload their photos or upload their outputs in the website, you can just place the placeholders there. What else can we add? Of course, we can add YouTube since it's part of Google. So you can just, if you have your students, for example, they are tasked to create a music and upload it in YouTube, and you wanted to showcase the music that they have created, you can also find it and link it to your website. So once you find the YouTube video that you are looking for, you can directly upload it. So this is an example of a YouTube video that you can put there. They can actually watch the YouTube video directly from your website. No need to go to the youtube.com just to watch the website. So, or just to watch the video. So they can directly watch the music or the video that they have created in the website itself. So again, no need to open new tabs just to explore their outputs. Next, of course, you can create Google Calendars and post it in your website. So if you have events or deadlines for your students, if the website is for your students, you can place it there. So it automatically syncs from your Google Calendar to this website. So no need to change the Google Calendar in the website. It will automatically sync there. And of course, you can add maps. So for those who are teaching history, geography, or even arts, and you want to reference and cite the places around the world for the photos that you have placed, you can also put a map there just to showcase that. So again, so for example, for the different paintings that we have, you can see it or you can find it in the National Museum of Fine Arts. You can show where is the National Museum of Fine Arts here in the Philippines using Google Maps. And of course, what other tools that we can add? Of course, we have the Google Docs. So for those literature works, so for example, poems, essays, novels, stories, short stories that is created by your students. So from Google Classroom, they will submit a poem through the use of Google Docs. Those Google Docs can be uploaded directly and embedded in your website to showcase the artwork or the works of your students. And next, we have Google Slides also. So if you have instructions or if you have tasked your students to create Google Slides to showcase a story. So storytelling using Google Slides, you can also put the Google Slides there. And of course, Google Sheets. So for statistics, for charting, we have Google Sheets and of course charts in our Google sites. So it can be easier or you can showcase everything in the Google sites. And last but not the least, we have Google Forms. So if you have short quizzes or if you have feedback forms for your website, you can embed also the Google form. But take note, we have an update in our Google form wherein we can upload a file inside the Google form. If we're going to ask everyone to upload a file in the Google form, so you will not be able to see the Google form there, the embedded Google form there, the whole form there. So it will direct you to another site or another tab just to open the Google form. It's because the upload file question is requiring you to sign in since you are going to be uploading a file. So there's a data privacy and ruling about this. So that's for the Google form. But if you don't have a upload file form or upload file question in the Google form, you can see and embed the whole form and answer the form directly in the website. So no need to open a new tab. So that is for our Google form. So actually that's it. That is all of the tools that we can add, and that's a lot of tools that we can add in our website. So everything, you can do anything in your website, especially when it comes to exhibiting all of the outputs. So it can be an essay, it can be a painting, a picture, a video, even music or voice recording. You can all embed those in your website just to exhibit those outputs to your students and even your colleagues and your parents so they can see that. So a quick question for you guys and also a break time for all of the tools that we have discussed. Which of the following tools can you add in your website? So we have there Google Docs, chart, website, Google Drive folder, video, none of the above, or all of the above. So let's see your responses. And what are the different tools that we can add in our website? Okay, so as I can see, most of you are still with me because the answer is all of the above. So all of the things that you can see in our choices, the Google Docs, the charts, the website, another website, Google Drive folder, and videos can be embedded and be seen in our Google site. So it's all of the above. So thank you for those who answered. Now, once we are done editing our website, once we are done with the settings, the themes, all of the tools, and all of the layouts, the structure of the website, we can now share and publish the website. So for the sharing and publishing of the website, so it's before we share publish the website, we can preview it first. So we'll know how it will look at the point of view of our viewer. So we can double check everything if there are no grammatical errors or if everything is placed on the right place. So you can preview it, just click on preview, and you will see there what it will look like in the point of view of your audience. So we have three settings there. We have there the laptop, if your audience are using laptops, if they are using tablets, and if they're using phones. So one of the answers earlier, before we have begun with this discussion, what are the challenges we face in an online setup? And the one answer or number, most of the answers are gadgets. So for the case of your students, if they're only using phones in your classroom and checking out the different things, you can also see what it will look like if they're using phones. So that's one great thing about Google Sites. It's accessible to phones also if they're only using tablets or if they have laptops. So you can all preview it using the preview button in our Google Sites. And once you're good with the look of your website, you can now decide on what will be your web address. So, what will be the web address for your website? So, actually, for the web address, the Google sites already put there a name based on your site name. So, because our site name is Art Exhibit, our web address is Art Exhibit. So this is the whole web address, the one that you can see at the bottom part. So that's sites.google.com/ your domain, what you are using. So since I'm working with Demo Workspace Edu, so that is what you'll see there. And then /art exhibit. So that is the whole web link or link address for your website. And take note, who will be able to see your website. So, who is your preferred audience? So, if you click on manage, you can actually select what will be the different people or what will be the setting for your website. So, it can be restricted for your students only. It can be on your domain only. So, demo workspace.edu, or in my case, I'm working with De La Salle, so it's De La Salle University's domain only. So only those who are using the DLSU or the Demo Workspace account, they will be the only ones that can view the website. Or you can choose public if you want your parents to see also the outputs of the students, or for if you want to delete the link, so you can remove the link. So in our case, since we're exhibiting the output of the students for the use of the parents also, so that your kids and your students will be proud of their outputs, so you can choose public. But take note, once you share it publicly, all of the details or all of the tools that you have used, from Google Docs to Google Drive to Google Sheets, must be shared to anyone with the link. So they must be able to view all of those tools. Or else there will be an error or a warning that you will see there, a message there asking the viewers to request access just to be able to view that. So make sure that the setting for all of the documents that you will post there is for anyone with link. Or you can also publish your documents just by clicking on the publish to the web. So for the Google Documents or Google Sheets, you can publish that to your website. So just click on it and it will also show in your website. No need to change everything. Or if all of the files you're working with are in one Google folder, just change the settings for that Google folder to anyone can view the Google folder so that they may be able to access every output. So just make sure view, not edit. So that is the setting for everything that we have placed in our website. And actually, that's it. You have already a website. So you can continue building your website as you and your students complete new tasks or new projects and learn new skills. So Google Sites can also be used in other aspects of education. So now that you have learned the Google Sites, how to work around the Google Sites, how will you use Google Sites in your teaching? So actually in my case, I'm teaching grade 9 students and I'm teaching social science. So our topic is economics. So before the pandemic, we actually have bazaars for them to apply the topics that we have discussed, like supply and demand, the consumer behavior. So just to be able to apply those in a real setup with a real problem. So that is for my case. Now that we are in an online setup, doing that is not possible. So they cannot sell their products physically. So what we did is we use Google Sites in order to actually to have an online bazaar on or a e-marketplace for them to work on. So it's a virtual simulation of a marketplace. We use a virtual money and virtual products since it's really hard to sell online and really hard to manage the students when it comes to that. So everything is virtual and we work by using Google Sites actually. So how about you guys? What will you do or how will you use Google Sites in teaching? And also, if you're not into teaching or if you have other works, what will you use or what will be the use of Google Sites for you? So let's see your answers or your responses. For e-portfolio of students and myself, that's very good. One-stop shop for learning resources like the modules we utilize. Yes, that's very good. So actually, some of the Google trainers that I know use Google Sites to really cover everything and put every tools that they use there. So I use it for my PE class. Hey, that's good. For the PE class. School portal, art exhibits, very good. Just like our example right now, where I post my activities and handouts. Yes, since it's very accessible to your students. Photography blog. What else? Yes, shout out to our current and previous grade 9 students who did so great in our virtual marketplace. Yes, shout out to them. They did great in their virtual marketplace. They have really nice websites, so I let them create their own website for their own businesses. So that's one thing I use Google Sites with. We'll explore this for next school years. Yes, I use Canva for, yeah, I think Canva have a website feature. Just saw that recently while I was exploring Canva. So you can use Google Sites also since most of the tools that we have are into Google, really. So Google tools, ayan. School publications, very good. Journalism. School project outputs. Yes, very good. So what are the other things that we can use or how can we use Google Site? It can be a blog for your students or a blog for yourself, your students' portfolio, just like what you've mentioned. And then we have an online bazaar, online newsletter for the parents. So this is for the schools that we have to reach out to your parents quickly so you can create a website for them. And then we have a subject website for your, or just like Google Classroom. If you want a more interactive Google Classroom, you can use Google Sites also. And then it can be also a website for the school itself. So building a website is actually a valuable skill now that we are in an online setup. Even if we go back to a face-to-face, we can still use Google Sites. So now that we are continuing and transforming our students' learning. So again, best of luck to all of you guys that you have shared your tools or what you'll do using Google Sites. Yeah, and we have post my students' quarterly report card. Oh, that's nice. So you can reach your parents using that. So those are the different tools. So for those who will be using the Google Sites for next year's teaching or for next quarter, next term, best of luck to all of you. So any questions regarding our Google Sites or even Pear Deck if you're interested in working with Pear Deck? Any questions for that? So you can type through our comment section or using the Pear Deck. We have a very good question here. How long does it take to learn its features? Actually, since it's made with a simple interface and friendly for not only for students but also for adults, so you can really learn all of the features at one sitting. So one day is enough for you to learn everything, and you can explore more and you can add more. So we have more videos posted in YouTube created by different Google trainers that discusses the different features of Google Sites. So what is the advantages of Google Sites that differ from the other? For me, the advantage of Google Sites is actually it's integrated with Google Tools. And most of the tools online that we use, especially if your school is using Google Workspace. So it's easier to connect everything from each other. You can access everything at one go if you're using Google Sites. And if you're using other things or other website, you can actually use Google Sites in doing that. And no coding, no hard HTML and all. Is Pear Deck free? I think for the free feature of Pear Deck, it's limited. So just like the other online tools that we have, if it's free, it's only limited. We only have a number of times or a number of students that we can accommodate. But for the premium one, you can accommodate a lot of students or you can have a lot of lessons for the Pear Deck. So what else? Any difficulties you've encountered in using Google Sites? If yes, how did you manage them? Difficulty in Google Sites. One thing that is hard for me is I have to check if it's accessible for everyone. So each site. So what I did is actually compile everything in a Google Drive, all of the tools that I've used and I've posted in the Google site. It is in one Google Drive. And then I share the Google Drive folder to anyone so that it can be accessible to everyone, just like what I pointed out earlier. So that's the only difficulty that I have. Pero the rest is easy since it's easy to use really. So this is what I like with Google Tools. It's very easy to use for those who are not techie or for those who are not really familiar with computers and all. So it's a really, really easy tool to learn. Ayan. Superb. I love it. Thanks po, ma'am, for this new knowledge. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Can Google Sites be navigated, accessible even offline? This is the only thing that is not yet available in Google Sites. So unlike the other tools that we have, the Google Docs, the Google Sheets, it's accessible offline. But for the Google Sites, you cannot really browse it unless you have uploaded everything in the Google Sites for offline use. So that's for our Google Sites. Ayan. So any more questions? You can also type your questions in our comment section. We can see naman po your comments. Ayan, good evening to those who just arrived. Hi, hello. Thank you also. Thank you po. Ayan, thank you. So if there are no other questions, again, thank you for this opportunity and thank you for letting me share with you the use of Google Sites in different aspects of teaching and even on your other works. So many people use the internet today to convey information and promote awareness of their tools and all. So online presence or cause. So Google Sites can be one of the tools that we can use to share everything that we have. So best of luck to all of you again in creating. And again, thank you for inviting me to be part of this webinar series. Thank you, Miss Mary and Miss Wang. So if you have any more questions, you may contact me through the email address flashed on your screen. And you may also follow me on Twitter and on Wakelet. So I'm using Wakelet right now to post all of the tools and to share with you all of my experiences as a teacher. So that is one of the tools that I wanted to share also. So Wakelet. And so I post contents on both sites, Twitter and Wakelet, so you can follow me. Some tips and tricks and the different tools I use for teaching. So again, thank you everyone for this opportunity and I hope you got something out from this session. So maraming salamat po and have a good day. And thank you po. Thank you, thank you. Thank you everyone. Ayan. So, andyan na po ba si Miss Mary? Ayan, Miss Mary and Miss Weng. Ayan, hi Miss Weng.
Ayan, Miss Tony. Thank you so much. Napaka informative ng natutunan namin for this evening. I know some of teacher nagko-comment sila, yay, ang galing naman ni Miss Tony for teaching us this session. So nakakatuwa kasi like yung question ni Miss Tony, how did you use Google or how are you going to use the Google site in your teaching? So ang daming paraan para gumamit tayo. Like, for example, di ba, Ms. Sony, while ago you said that some of your students nagkaroon kayo ng virtual bazaar. So, di ba? Ayan. So,
Yes
confirm,
po.
yung pamangkin ko, ikaw nga ang teacher nila. Tinanong ko
Ah,
na.
yes,
So,
yay.
ayan. So, hi, Inay. Good evening.
Hi,
So,
hi. Ayan.
oo. Thank you so much, Miss Tony. Natutuwa yung mga audience sa inyo kasi parang ano, yung kahit na hindi kahit kahit na pinapanood yung process how to do it, natututo sila. So nakikita nila yung ganun lang pala kadali. If you wanted to use this Google site, dear teacher, madali lang talaga po siya gamitin, 'di ba, Miss Tony? Kasi some of us, even me, I'm not artistic. I'm not good in to be artistic, yung mga art. Pero when you use the Google site, kasi you have to get na lang the color palette, pwede kang pumili na lang ng theme, and also iga-guide ka kung ano yung mga i-click mo. Kaya yung mga not a tech teacher, pwede kayong mag-create ng Google site. And especially to those teacher na talagang nahihirapan na halimbawa for the PE teacher, paano nyo i-embed yung paggamit ng video, lalagay natin sa ating Google site. So, pwede naman, madali lang kasi pwede naman na mag-create tayo ng video, i-upload natin sa YouTube as playlist para tayo lang nakakakita. So, maraming ways. Kaya nga sabi ni Miss Tony, Google site, virtual it up. So, ayan, their teacher. Ayan. So, hi, hello kung meron akong students dyan from, uh, ayan. So, I hope na natuto tayo for this evening kay Miss Tony. Ayan, sabi ni Miss Mayflower, no, yes, ma'am, we could post YT then sent link sa Google site. Ayan. Siguro
Yes
si
po.
ma'am talagang nag-Google site. So, ayan. Sabi din, I'm a PE teacher here po. Wow! Thank you,
Ayan.
Floor. Kasi alam ko, ngayong pandemic, ang dilemma po ng PE teacher, paano sila na makakapag-create or makakapag-create ng example for the students na halimbawa yung dance. 'Di ba? Not all naman teenager, they know how to dance o kaya naman the volleyball, basketball, so anything na sports. So ang ginagawa, gaya ng sa anak ko, yung teacher nila, pag nagturo, ang output nila yung pinapa-video. Ayan. Kasi
Mhm.
parang ano, 'di ba, yung performance task, paano mo siya gigradean? So, syempre, makikita mo na dapat naituro or merong output,
Mhm.
'di ba? So sabi ni Mayflower ulit, medyo challenging ma'am, pero kakayanin po. Gawa ng demo
Demo
video.
vids. Yes,
Oo,
opo.
yan. Demo video. Kasi ngayong pandemic, ang dami-dami na nating natutunan. So,
Totoo
it
po.
helped, 'di ba, Miss, kahit kayo, you're in private school, 'di ba? Parang, ano po ba ang mga practices ninyo in private school? Ito po yung mga tinuro ni Miss Tony. 'Diba? And
Mhm.
also, pag Google site po, there are a lot of mga productivity tools from Google na pwede din po natin gamitin like Doc, Sheets, Slide, uh, ano pa, drawing. So, ayan.
Yes po. Ayan,
Yan. So,
maraming
favorite ko
tool.
to eh.
Ayan,
Hmm. Naku, may
nag-start na po ako
nagpapa-shout.
ng site pero hindi ko po natapos. Ngayon po naintindihan ko na kung ano-ano ang susunod kong gagawin. Ayan, thank you po. Thank you po at may natutunan po kayo from this session. Eh, shout out daw po sa mga PE teachers. Shout out
Oo,
po.
ayan. PE teacher yun, Sir Ariel from Las Piñas Science High School. Ayan, sabi ni Gray Shella, thank you for this, Miss Tony. I can now include dance and story videos for kindergarten in one place. Smoother, wow, smoother interface. I love that Google site is linked to Google Drive too. Ayan. So, naku, ang daming fans si Miss Tony this evening.
Shout out po sa lahat. Ayan, lalo na po sa mga friends ko po na todo suporta.
Oh, ayan. Wala po ba kayong any questions kay Miss Tony? And also, Miss Tony, ang natutuwa ako sa Google site, depende yung output kung ano yung gadget na hawak ng bata, 'di ba? Let's say
Yes
if
po.
using laptop, they can show laptop image, laptop view o preview. Pag tablet naman, matic nagre-resize siya.
Yes
Kapag
po.
Android naman or cellphone, so nagpi-fit siya. So meaning, ano man yung hawak ng bata, pag once na preview mo, nagpi-fit siya sa kung anong gadget ang hawak mo. So 'di ba napakaganda, hindi ka na magpo-program.
Yes
Kasi
po. Yun po ang
although
gusto
we
ko
can
doon.
embed, 'di ba? So ayun. So
Opo.
parang for me, kung as a teacher ka, kung nagmamadali ka, drag and drop, that is our best friend, drag and drop, tapos nandiyan na, tapos embed na lang the YouTube, tapos may mga template. Kasi ako, kapag halimbawa for me, magde-develop ako ng site, tapos Miss Tony yung site, parang blank lang siya, di ba? Parang ang hirap mag-isip. Paano kaya yung format? Saan ko ilalagay yung heading? Paano yung takbo ng font? Ganyan. Yung font ba is akma dun sa content? Sometimes ganun na, diba? So, ako naalala ko before nung nagtuturo ako ng site, ano pa yan, HTML,
Opo.
Notepad++,
Yes po.
CSS, tapos nilalagyan ng arte, JavaScript, yung mga ganon. So, ayan, sabi ni Teacher Mira, Teacher Mika from Quezon Province, friendly user talaga si Google Site. Kaya ang ganda gamitin. Ayan, kala ko ang ganda natin.
Totoo po.
Ayan.
Ay, kasama
Ay,
na din daw po yan.
kasama na din yun, Teacher Mika. So, ayan. So, medyo less siya kasi hindi ka na magko-code. Kasi mahirap pang mag-code, diba? Ayan. Sabi ni Ma'am
Totoo
Tony,
po.
Tony din ito, Miss Tony.
Kapatid ko po.
Ay, gano'n. Tony,
Kapatid ko.
Tony? Tony, Tony
Yes
talaga?
po.
Nice naman. Two Tony in the family? Wow,
Ah,
nice.
four
Now,
po. Four,
four
four
Tony?
po.
So, parang pag
Opo.
kinanta yan, Tony, Tony. Ayan, diba? So, napaka-interactive din po ng discussion. Maganda din yung per deck and thank you po. Oh, yeah, I like per deck kasi nung naging GCT ako, di ba may bayad yan? Pero limit lang
Yes
siya
po.
kung free. Pero kung pag GCT ka, ano siya, meron kang free na 1 year. So, ayan. So,
Yes
maganda
po.
siya.
Totoo po.
Katulad ng ginawa ni Miss Tony kanina, to interact with the students, nagbigay lang siya dun sa join pd.com tapos meron siyang code para
Code.
mag-join
Yes
kayo.
po.
So that's the thing that you can integrate with the students. Maganda din yung Wakelet. So maraming mga ways to engage the students kasi 'di ba Miss Tony sabi nga nila online, paano ko mai-engage yung students ko? Baka mamaya
Mhm.
natutulog na sila, 'di ba? So ikaw, Miss
Totoo po.
Tony, anong na-experience mo nung online? So meron bang
Um,
nahirapan ka ba to engage your learner?
nung simula po, sobrang hirap. Lalo na with my topic, economics. Tas shift from history, naging economics. Sobrang hirap po ng pagtuturo ng economics. Pero once I started to learn different tools to increase my engagement, So, especially yung Pear Deck po, and actually there are other tools that we can use from na free din po, lalo na for education. So, yun, nung natutunan kong gamitin yung mga yun, mas nagtaas yung engagement and mas nagpa-participate yung mga students. And mas nakikita ko din po na yung performance nila mas maganda compared dun sa wala lang nagle-lesson lang akong mag-isa sa camera. So, yun po. Para lang din po mas maging interactive. So, yun, madaming-madami pong tools na pwede po nating gamitin. And actually, many Google trainers are sharing all of these tools in their own Google sites. And of course, meron pong Wakelet and of course, yung Twitter. So, may makikita po kayo doon na different tools that you can choose from. So, ayun po.
Yes, so madami lang. Kaya, dear teacher, ang kailangan lang natin gawin ay mag-aral. One thing, pwede din tayo mag-integrate ng games, pwede din. For the elementary teachers, pwede din.
Yes po.
So, para maging interactive siya, especially for the elementary, 'di ba? Kasi minsan, alam mo, nakikita ko nga yung mga teacher ng elementary. Kanina nakakita ako ng teacher na na nagle-lesson. Parang yung napaka-alive niya, tapos mag-isa lang siya sa camera, sa laptop. Parang, ganito palang itsura kapag nag-online, diba? Para kang parang,
Mhm.
you know, wala, yun, parang para kang alive na alive. So, lahat ginagawa mo, para lang yung students mo ay talagang mapansin, kasi syempre, hindi naman all the time, talagang naka-open yung camera, 'di ba? So,
Opo.
syempre meron din tayong mga policies sometimes where hindi tayo allow na ipa-open yung camera nila kasi parang issue and others. So, depende na din sa policy ng school ninyo if they allowed to open the camera. But the thing is, natuto tayo this evening. Maraming na-impart si Miss Tony for this evening. At ayan, we promise you, this is episode 2, season 1, episode 2. The title is Google Site Virtual App. So, dear teacher, all we have to do is to practice. Hindi naman natin kailangan na agad-agad. Kailangan mag-isip lang tayo, mangarap tayo that someday we can create a nice website with the help of Google. So kung creative tayo, we can do it. But if not, we can do it pa din still. But kailangan lang natin is time to engage with the use of this Google site. So marami kayong matututunan dito. So, wow, sabi ni Mark Anthony, Sir, be googly. Use Google wisely.
Google
Wow.
wisely. Yes.
Oo, shout out for kasi ang aming weekly webinar, the title is The Googly Filipino Teacher. So that's why we are googly. Ayan.
Yes, oh.
Oo. Thank you, Miss Tony, for this evening. We learned a lot from you. And also yung
Thank you
mga
din po.
audience natin, talagang natuwa sila for this. So for this, Miss Tony, congratulations. We look forward for more of this. Ayan, congratulations!
Thank you po ulit. Thank you. Thank you, Google Philippines. Ayan.
Yes, thank you. So ayan, dear teacher, maraming salamat po sa pagsubaybay nyo sa aming weekly webinar. And wag po natin kakalimutan that every Wednesday, 7 to 8:30 po, meron po tayong The Filipino Google Teacher. So wag po natin kakalimutan na i-share at ibahagi ito sa ating mga guro dahil marami po tayong matututunan dito. So, na habang kumakain tayo, pwedeng manood. At the same time, natututo tayo. Ayan. So marami pong salamat sa lahat ng guro na sumama sa amin sa gabing ito, sa naghahapunan, sa nakikipagtsikahan, sa nakikipagmarites na masayang word na yan. So maraming salamat. We thank you, teacher, na patuloy kayo nang tune in sa EdTech Live, sa aming Facebook page. Sa mga susunod po, lagi po nating i-share ang ating mga weekly webinars and weekly and also weekend webinar meron din. So para marami tayong matututunan, anyway, this is free. Now, meron po kaming announcement on makaka-receive po kayo kayo ng certificate, but marireceive nyo po ito on mangyayari po ito on Friday kasi po meron pong sa PDLMS i-upload po itong video pero talagang lesson lang po ni Miss Tony, recorded video, whole lesson lang po ni Miss Tony, wala po yung mga tsikahan. So kaya kung gusto nyong balikan yung tinuro ni Miss Tony for this evening, pwedeng nyong balikan. All you have to do is log in lang sa ating training.deped.gov.ph. So alam niyo naman, suking-suki namin kayo sa aming mga live session. So again, announcement po on Friday. Doon po i-upload yung video, recorded video ni Miss Tony, yung lesson, yung shinare niya this evening para po meron tayong team replay. At the same time, meron lang po tayong sasagutan na 5 questions. Napakadali to get our certificate. Anyway, this is national certificate at ito po ay naka-memo signed by Yusek Alain. So, ayan, dear teacher, for that. So, hindi ko na po kukunin pa na ang mahaba ninyong oras kasi it's time to rest. Mahaba ng oras at dear teacher, wag po natin kakalimutan na lagi po tayong magpahinga pagkatapos ng mahabang oras sa ating mga online session. So dahil alam ko tayo din po ay napapagod, kailangan din ng ating katawang lupang magpahinga. Pero dahil dyan, sobrang nagpapasalamat ako dahil sinamahan nyo kami ni Miss Tony sa gabing ito. At we promise you, sa mga susunod pa na season, sa susunod pang episode, marami po kayong matututunan. Ayan. So thank you so much po sa lahat ng sumubaybay. Again, magkita po ulit tayo sa susunod na Miyerkules, 7 to 8:30. See you! Thank you so much! Maraming salamat! See you again!
As we face the command of rapid development and technological innovation in the world, the Philippines' preparedness in advancement of its physical facilities, infrastructure, and soft skills are given focus, especially with the empowerment of teachers' capacity and capability, not only in pedagogical aspects of teaching, but the confidence in delivering instruction with the use of information and communications technology. The Office of the Undersecretary for Administration, under the leadership of Yusek Alain Delby Pasqua, established the Educational Technology Unit under the Information and Communications Technology Service. Its prime function is to empower and capacitate public school teachers and learners as required by the global demand of the fast-paced development in technology. The task of the Educational Technology Unit is to promote and solidify the innovation and digitization projects that will support the requirements of the K-12 curriculum in delivering quality, accessible, relevant, and liberating education for all. It targets different components and facets of skills development which will enable the technological advancement of the infrastructure of DepEd. This is supplemented with empowerment training programs in emerging technologies for public school teachers. The programs of the EdTech unit target the emerging pedagogies focused on open educational resources, robotics and mechatronics, coding and programming, virtual reality and augmented reality in education, mobile application development, Internet of Things, and the productivity tools for learning, which includes Microsoft Office 365, Google Apps for Education, and the different Adobe software tools. In addition, the maneuver of in-house applications such as the DepEd Commons and the DepEd Learning Management System is under the flagship of the EdTech unit. The supervision of DepEd TV in ensuring world-class produced video lessons is another task of the office. Lastly, the conduct of free online tutorial session, coined with the term eTulay, is a bridging program to support learners and parents in answering the self-learning modules pioneered with the initiative of the ICTS EdTech unit. A teacher's influence is limitless, bound with the heart for service and dedication to fulfill the greatest mission to educate the young. The ICTS Educational Technology Unit will be there to promote, to empower, and to inspire Filipino teachers and learners as we grow as a tiger in the region, hitting our target as one of the best in educational technology. Come on and join us as we make our dreams into a reality. Sama-sama tayong lahat tungo sa iisang layunin. Simulan natin ang pagbabago dahil tayo ang mga gurong magtatayo ng makabagong DepEd. Sulong Edukalidad.